Once again, good day, my dear students. I hope that you are getting hotter as we move on with our last topic about heat and temperature. Most of us often interchange the use of the terms heat and temperature in our daily conversation. But are heat and temperature one and the same? Or they are two different concepts? Well, let's find them out. Let's go!
In this lesson, we have two learning objectives. First, define heat and temperature. Second, differentiate between heat and temperature based on the behavior of particles. Before we move on, I want you to try answering the following statement as true or false. Direction. On the table found in the next slide, draw a smiley face if the statement is true and a sad face if it is false. In this table, the first column are the test items and the second column is where you will draw the faces. So you may pause this video for a few minutes. Skip your answers and try to check them while our lesson is going on. Number 1. Heat is not energy. Number 2. Heat is a substance. Number 3. Heat and temperature are the same. Number 4. The temperature of an object depends only on heat added. Number 5. Particles at higher temperature have high kinetic energy, while particles at lower temperatures have lower kinetic energy. And now class, it's time to explore. Our fourth activity is entitled Dye in Water. So, let's enjoy mixing the dye or food color in water. But before that, I want you to draw this table on your activity notebook first. In this table, you will record your data and write down your observations.
In this activity, we need the following materials. We have here 3 transparent beakers, 3 plastic droppers, 1 thermometer, a steering rod, the tap water for the room temperature, the cold water, the hot water, and of course the dye or the food color. Now, the first thing that we are going to do is to label the 3 containers with hot, hot, and cold. Then, this time, we will fill the 3 containers separately with tap water, hot water, and cold water at about 500 ml. then cold water. Okay, the next thing to do is to measure the temperature of water in its container. You will make use of the thermometer. Then you will record your measurement on the table that you draw. Caution, hold the thermometer carefully and return to its holder after being used. Then, make sure that the thermometer will not touch at the bottom part of the beaker. So for tap water, so we will wait for about 3 minutes. For 1 to 3 minutes we'll do. So for tap water, the temperature is around 30 degrees Celsius. Next, so this time for the hot water. So for hot water, the temperature is 83 degrees Celsius. Then for the cold water, so for the cold water, the temperature is 14 degrees Celsius. So this time, we will fill in the 3 droppers with food color or the dye. So make sure that the 3 droppers have the same amount of dye in it. Okay. So this time, we will place drop of dye into the center of each container. But take note, it is better for you to place drop of dye into the 3 samples simultaneously.
So, for better view of the behavior of dye particles, let's watch this video. Carefully observe and write down your observations in the table that you draw.
Here are the following guide questions that you are going to answer in your activity notebook. Again, your answers will be collected and will be checked by your science teachers. For number 1, what similarities and differences did you observe when a drop of dye was added to each container?
Number 2. In which container did the dye scatter the fastest? In which did it scatter the slowest?
Number 3. How do you relate the temperature of the water to the rate of scattering of the dye? Number 4. In which container are the particles of water moving fastest? In which container are the particles moving slowest? Number 5. How is temperature related to the speed of the particles? And for the last number, 6. How is temperature related to the kinetic energy of particles? So class, keep these ideas in mind. All the objects that you see around you that are moving possess kinetic energy. The scattering of the dye through the water indicates that the particles of water are moving. The speed of the particles of water varies in each container since kinetic energy depends on speed. The kinetic energies of the particles also vary. If heat is added to an object, the particles of the object gain kinetic energy and they move faster. Since temperature is directly related to kinetic energy, any gain in kinetic energy would cause the temperature to increase. Conversely, if heat is transferred or removed from an object, it loses kinetic energy. Its particles move slower and the body's temperature decreases.
So I guess you already understand the difference between heat and temperature. Now, kindly get your notebook and pen and answer these. Fact or bluff? Direction. The following statement may state either the truth or not. If it is true, write the word fact, and if not, write bluff. Again, your science teachers will collect and will check your answers. Number 1. Heat is a substance. Number 2. Heat is not energy. Number 3. Heat and temperature are the same. Number 4. The temperature of an object depends only on heat added. And for number 5, the particles at higher temperature have high kinetic energy, while particles at lower temperatures have lower kinetic energy. Congratulations, class! You've successfully accomplished all our activities. But it's not yet the end. Way to go! And so, for now, let's have this reinforcement. Here's what we are going to do. Create a graphic organizer summarizing the 3 topics we had for this week. You may choose your graphic organizer from the samples on the next slide, or you can make your own. Then, construct it in your notebook. After you've done this, just wait for your science teachers, because they will be the ones to collect and check your output.
This time, I want you to share your insights by completing the sentence prompts. Again, your answers will be collected and will be checked by your science teachers. For the first part, I have learned that. For the second part, I wish to ask my teacher about.
Alright class, here's your most awaited part, and that is to answer these 15 items post-test. Directions. Read the following questions carefully and choose the letter of the correct answer. Write your answer in your notebook. Please be reminded that your science teachers will collect and will check all your answers at the end of this test. Good luck! Number 1. In which medium does sound travel the fastest? A. Air. B. Iron. C. Vacuum. D. Water. Number 2. At a normal weather condition, among the time of the day specified below, at what time does the sound travel fastest? A. 6 o'clock a.m. B. 9 o'clock a.m. C. 2 o'clock p.m. D. 11 o'clock p.m. Number 3. How is temperature and speed of sound related? A. Temperature depends on the speed of sound. B. The speed of sound and temperature are indirectly related. C. The lower the temperature, the faster the sound travels. D. The higher the temperature, the faster the sound travels. Number 4. At what temperature will the speed of sound in air be 331 meters per second? A. 0 degrees Celsius. B. 25 degrees Celsius. C. 37 degrees Celsius. D. 100 degrees Celsius. Number 5. What is the speed of sound in air of the room where the temperature is 30 degrees Celsius? A. 319 meters per second. B. 349 meters per second. C. 439 meters per second. D. 913 meters per second. Which of the following colors has the longest wavelength? Color A, color B, color C, color D. Number 7. Which of the following colors of light is arranged from lowest to highest frequency and energy? A. Blue, green, yellow, red. B. Green, yellow, orange, red. C. Orange, yellow, violet, blue. D. Orange, yellow, green, violet. Number 8. Which of the following characteristics of light is not affected when white light passes through a prism? A. Amplitude. B. Frequency. C. Refractive index. D. Wavelength. Number 9. Visible light is the only part of electromagnetic spectrum that can be seen by the human eye. Which of the following is the correct sequence of increasing wavelength? A. Yellow, green, blue, violet. B. Violet, blue, green, yellow. C. Red, orange, yellow, green. D. Green, orange, yellow, blue. Number 10. What color of light is more sensitive to human eye? Color A, color B, color C, color D. Number 11. Which of the following statement about heat is correct? A. Heat is a substance. B. Heat is an energy in transit. C. Heat can be measured directly. D. Heat and temperature is the same. Number 12. Observe carefully the dye in the containers below. In which container did the dye scatter the fastest? A. Container 1. B. Container 2. C. Container 3. D. Container 4. Number 13. What happens to the temperature of the object when it absorbs heat? A. Its temperature rises. B. Its temperature stops. C. Its temperature fluctuates. D. Its temperature is the same. Number 14. How is heat related to temperature? A. Heating an object increases the average kinetic energy of its particles when the temperature is constant. B. Heating an object decreases the average kinetic energy of its particles, therefore increasing its temperature. C. Heating an object increases the average kinetic energy of its particles, therefore increasing its temperature. D. Heating an object increases the average kinetic energy of its particles, therefore decreasing its temperature. Number 15. If all substances are made up of particles and molecules, what will happen if heat is added to them? A. If heat is added, the molecules will move faster. B. If heat is added, the molecules will move farther from each other. C. When heat is added, the molecules will separate into its component particles. D. All of the above.
Wow! Congratulations! Thanks for watching!